Now that we know how to find the area of basic shapes, rectangles, parallelograms, triangles, trapezoids, it's time to tackle something more complicated. They're called composite figures. These are kind of irregular shapes. They aren't just a regular old rectangle or parallelogram. They're a little more complicated. And our job is to try to break them into smaller pieces, break them into things we know how to find the area of. So that's what today's lesson is about. Go ahead and get your notes page set up. Here's our learning target. Same standard, but a different part of it. We're going to talk about finding the area of polygons by decomposing, dividing them up into smaller shapes. So our I can statement is I can find the area of composite figures by breaking them into shapes I know how to find the area of. So here's our first example. Go ahead, fill in your notes up top to find the area of a composite figure, break it into shapes you know how to find the area for, then add those areas together to get the area of the whole thing. So we're going to break it into smaller pieces, find those areas, put the pieces back together. So here's our shape here. It's got 6 sides, so we'd call it a hexagon. I have no idea what the formula is for finding the area of a hexagon. I don't think there is one. So what I want to do is I want to break it into pieces. And as I'm sure you can see from the pictures, if we were to split it straight across here, we would turn it into a rectangle and a trapezoid. Those are things that I can find the area. So we're going to find the area of each one of them. So in the second picture there, they highlight the rectangle. So we want to find the area of this rectangle. Well, area is just base times height, 12 times 8. So always make sure to show how you set up your problem. Don't just give me an answer. 12 times 8 is 96. We're dealing in feet, so our area is feet squared. Now we tackle the top portion. That's my trapezoid. Okay. To find the area of a trapezoid, remember we need to find the sum of our two bases. That's my 4 and my 12, the two parallel sides. So 4 plus 12. Then we multiply times our height. The height is that vertical distance straight between my two bases. They tell me that's 4 feet. So we multiply times 4. And then don't forget you got to divide by 2. So 4 plus 12 is 16. Times 4 is 64. Divided by 2 is 32 feet squared. So we found the area of a rectangle, found the area of a trapezoid, put them back together in order to make the whole shape. So we do 96 plus 32 is 128 feet squared. We just broke it into 2 smaller pieces that we knew how to find the area of, and those 2 pieces together form our larger shape. So if you think got the general idea, try this one out. Find the area of the rectangle. That's shape number 1. Then find the area of your triangle up top. That's shape number 2. Remember to use your formula for each one of them. For your triangle up top, they've already got your height here of 5. Your base here is the same as the base here of your rectangle. So this is 10 yards. Go ahead and see what you get for your answer. All right, so I went ahead and did my work. See how you did in comparison. I got 120 yards for my rectangle, 25 square yards for my triangle, so it's a total of 145 yards. So let's try another one. This one's a little bit different in that the measurements aren't going to be quite as easy to find. We're going to have to do just a little bit of work. So we want to break this L up into pieces that we know how to find the area of. There's 2 ways to do it. You could either divide it down like this. So you got a big, tall rectangle here, and then a shorter rectangle here. Or you could split it up going this direction. Both of them are going to get the exact same area, so it doesn't matter which one you choose. Just make sure to use the correct measurements for each one. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and leave it like this. So I want to find the area of this rectangle and this one. So we'll start here. This rectangle here has a base of 8 and a height of 2. So to find my area, I do base times height, which is 16 centimeters squared. Remember not to leave your answer naked. Make sure you include your units there. Now I want to find the area of my second one. That's this one up top. Now, the base is pretty easy. That's my 3 centimeters. My height is going to be a little bit different, and this is where you got to kind of look closely at the problem. A lot of us are going to go, oh, my height is 8, but 8 is the distance all the way to the bottom to the top. But I don't want to go all the way from the bottom to the top. I only want to go from the top to here. So I don't want to go the full 8. I need to know what is this shorter distance here. Well, take a look at your diagram. Notice this short distance here is the same as this one here, which means it's 2 centimeters. So this short distance is 2. Think about what does this longer distance have to be, because together they make a distance of 8. Well, 2 plus 6 centimeters gives us our total of 8. So we had to do a little bit of subtraction. 8 minus the 2 down here to get the 6 up top. That's the height of this rectangle. So 3 times 6 is 18 centimeters squared. When I'm all done, I add together my pieces. 16 plus 18 is 34 centimeters squared. So sometimes you have to go searching for those measurements. They're not just going to be right there for you. So let's tackle another one that does the same idea. Got this big shape here. Think about where could I divide this up in order to make it into 2 shapes I know how to find the area. Now, I could divide it up over here. And if you turn your head sideways, you notice that this edge here and my 15 make the 2 bases. And this would be the height of a trapezoid. So I could do that. But I don't have enough information to find the area of this little triangle down here. So that's not going to quite work for me. Instead, I would suggest dividing it up like this. We got a triangle down here, and then a rectangle up top. So let's start with our rectangle. Our base is the distance across. That's my 9. My height. This is where you got to think a little bit. I got a 15 over here, a 9 over here. Well, the 15 is the distance from the top all the way to the bottom. I don't want to go that far for my rectangle here. So I just want this 9 that goes here. So my 9 is my height. So this was actually a square. So 9 times 9, base times height, is 81 inches squared. Now I want to find the area for my triangle down here. Again, we're going to have to do a little bit of calculating. Always look for a right angle, because then you know your base and your height there. So let's first find this blue line going across. I know this short little section here, from here to here, is 4. And I know this section in the middle matches up with this one up top. So that must be 9. But I want the length of the whole side here. Well, that's 9 plus 4, which is 13 inches. So that's my base. Then I need my height. That's this distance here. From here to here. Well, I know this whole thing is 15. I also know that this piece here was the height of my square, which is my 9. So think about what is this piece down here, because this short piece plus the 9 has to equal the 15 total. Well, to figure it out, just subtract. 15 minus 9 gives me 6 inches for this piece here. So this shorter distance must be 6. 6 plus 9 gave me 15. So I want to multiply times 6. 13 times 6 is 78. But it's a triangle, so don't forget to divide by 2. I almost forgot that myself. 78 divided by 2 gives me 39 inches squared. So don't get so caught up in the problem that you forget what your formula is for each of those pieces. When I'm all done, add together my areas. 81 plus 39 gives me 120 inches squared. Okay, so I had to go hunting for those measurements. All right, last one. If you think you've got the handle of this, feel free to go ahead and tackle this one on your own. Check back in at the very end, see if I got the same answer as you. If you're still a little iffy on it, stick with me through this one, and you'll hopefully feel a little bit better. Hopefully, in looking at this one, you kind of realize there's 3 shapes going on. There's a triangle up here. There's another triangle here. And then there's a rectangle along the bottom. So let's start with a rectangle. To find the area of a rectangle, we just need base times height. Base is the distance from end to end, so that's 30 times my height, 15. 30 times 15 is 450 inches squared. Now let's take care of my red one. So that's this one here. And I kind of drew around it a little bit so I wouldn't lose my measurement. To find the area of a triangle, I want to do base times height divided by 2. My base is my 15. My height is my 10. 15 times 10 divided by 2. 15 times 10 is 150. Divided by 2 is 75 inches squared. Okay. Last piece. This one down here. Again, it's a triangle. It's a smaller one, but we still need my base and my height divided by 2. My base is my 5. That one's easy. My height, they don't tell me what my height is. They didn't give a measurement here, but I know that's a right angle, so I know this is going to be my height over here. Well, this edge here is the same as this edge over here, which means it has a height of 10 inches. So I'm going to multiply by 10. It's a triangle, so don't forget to divide by 2. 5 times 10 is 50. Divided by 2 is 25 inches squared. So all I did is find the area of each one of them. Last step, don't do all this hard work and forget the last part. Add it all together. 450 plus 75 plus 25. Well, 75 and 25 is 100. Plus 450 is 550. We're dealing in inches, so inches squared. So hopefully you feel a little bit more comfortable on how to find the area of a composite figure by breaking it up into smaller pieces.